Babs the baby bird lives in fluffy gardens. Babs lives here at Tweet Cottage, to be precise. Babs is a happy little bird who loves to chirp and cheep all day. Chirp, chirp, cheep, cheep. If you hear a bird chirping and cheeping happily, you should listen carefully, because it just might be Babs. But Babs is so very, very small. Tiny, in fact. So small you could easily miss her. See this bunch of yellow balloons? Oh, there's Babs. And see this bunch of pretty yellow flowers? Oh, there's Babs. You see, Babs is so small that sometimes nobody even notices she's there. Our story begins early one bright morning. Babs loved bright mornings because the big yellow sun made her feel lovely and warm.
What a lovely bright morning!
Exclaimed Babs, and hopped out to enjoy the sunshine. She bounced around happily, chirping and cheeping. As she bounced around, she would smile and say,
"Hello,"
to anyone she saw. But Babs was so small they walked right past her without even noticing her. In no time at all, Babs found herself chirping on a bush outside her house. This wasn't just any house. It was Paolo the cat's house. Inside, Paolo was reading a big, heavy book, as he likes to do. He listened to the lovely chirping and smiled. That is a lovely sound, he thought to himself, and suddenly felt very happy. He looked around and saw nothing. Even when Babs gave Paolo a little wave, he didn't notice. I wonder where the sound is coming from, thought Paolo, and he went back to his book. As he read his book with a smile, Babs hopped away. She felt ever so slightly sad that Paolo hadn't noticed her. Babs soon found herself cheeping on a window ledge. This wasn't just any window ledge. It was Rex the pig's window ledge. Rex was in his kitchen cooking a wonderful meal, as he likes to do. He listened to the cheeping and smiled. That is a lovely sound, he thought to himself, and suddenly felt very happy. He looked around and saw nothing. I wonder where the sound is coming from, thought Rex, and he went back to his bubbling pot. As Rex cooked a wonderful meal with a smile, Babs hopped away. She felt a little sad that Rex hadn't noticed her. That night in bed, Babs thought to herself,
I wish I wasn't so small. I would just love if someone noticed me.
The next morning was bright and sunny. Babs hopped out to enjoy the sunshine. She chirped outside Paolo the cat's house. Inside, Paolo smiled as he read his big, heavy book. And she cheeped on Rex the pig's window ledge. Rex smiled as he cooked a wonderful meal. She chirped and cheeped all day, but nobody noticed Babs the baby bird. And that's how it was all that week. Paolo the cat and Rex the pig happily listened to the chirping and cheeping, wondering all the while where it was coming from. And Babs, while chirping and cheeping, wondering why nobody ever noticed her. And then, one morning, it rained. If you or I wanted to go out in the rain, we would wear a raincoat, wouldn't we? Well, Babs is so small that no raincoat would ever fit her. It would be far too big. So that day, she stayed inside. And that day, Paolo the cat didn't smile. He missed the lovely chirping and cheeping so much that he didn't read his big heavy book. Rex the pig didn't smile either. He missed the lovely chirping and cheeping so much that he didn't make a wonderful meal. He just made a sandwich. And that wasn't even very nice. Nobody smiled that day. When the rain stopped and the ground was covered in puddles, Paolo was looking very glum as he talked with Rex, who also looked rather glum. Babs the baby bird bounced up to them and said,
Hello.
but Babs was so small, and they were talking so very loudly they didn't notice her. Babs was feeling sorry for herself as she went to hop off. But then she stopped, and she listened. Oh, that chirping was so lovely, said Paolo.
And the cheeping was divine,
Added Rex.
I wonder where it went.
Babs smiled a little smile.
Oh, is it me they're talking about? They had noticed me after all.
She became so happy that she started chirping and cheeping. And as Paolo walked off, he heard the chirping and cheeping, and he stopped. And he looked down. Babs, it's you! He shouted happily. Babs was so happy that someone had finally noticed her. Rex the pig looked and looked, but even with the chirping and cheeping, he walked right by her and fell into a puddle.